All right, welcome to the Fantasy Sports Wrap, episode 5, and we're trying out new technology, and Darren and I are not necessarily the greatest at new technology, so we're doing okay. But Michael Potter,
Darren Phillip.
and you should see us in split screen if you're watching the video, but this is episode 5, and it's kind of an in-between episode because we are right now taping this on late Friday night, and so we still got 2 days left of this week, second week, week 2. And as we saw today, anything can happen. And I know, Darren, you've had kind of a topsy-turvy day because when I talked to you this morning, you were like, I'm crushing it. And now it's kind of gotten a little tighter.
Yeah, it's the tables have turned on me. Pat Baracho Bandits has hit 5 home runs today.
Stinking Baracho Bandits.
And he's taking a 2 home run lead on me. So I'm all square. I'm at 5-5 right now. But I'm only up 4 RBIs. I mean, I was up by 9 at one point. And he's got me by 8 runs now. And stolen bases are a lock for me. I'm up 9-1. I'm up 8-0 in saves. That's a lock. ERA and WHIP are a lock. Down a win. And I kept a guy on the bench today, which I shouldn't have. But you know,
big game James on the bench because you were trying to win. You were trying to win ERA and WHIP. You didn't want him to blow up and lose it for you.
Right. But I ended up getting 2 relief wins today, so I could be tied if I would have put Shields in there. I would be tied in wins right now, but he still has 5 more starters left, so it was the right play.
Starters?
It was, yeah. He had like 4 guys with double starts on Monday. He just plowed into them. He played it well as far as the pitchers go.
Don't give your competitor credit.
No, I'm not going to give him too much credit. It's what I would have done. I think he
had 5 home runs today too.
Yes, he did. He did.
Russell Martin and Devon Travis.
Yeah.
3 home runs between them.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't want to say it, but as the time we're taping this, Nolan Arenado is still playing, so he might hit another couple more on the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, if we look at the scoreboard, because, before we move to the scoreboard, Pat likes to talk a little smack. He does. He actually went and looked at our video on YouTube and talked a little smack to you on the YouTube video. Put a little comment out there, which I kind of liked, but he's after you, man. He's after you. Did I freeze up on you a little bit there?
Yeah, you're freezing up and you're kind of.
You know what? We're gonna keep plowing through this, but you know what the issue is I'm sitting in a hotel room right now. I'm in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Darren is back at his home in Phoenix, Arizona. So we might freeze up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But Pat's talking a little smack on YouTube, and he kind of actually wants more people to talk smack. He really gets into it.
He does. And he told me today, man, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm like, yeah, well, you hit 5 home runs in one day. I'd be having fun too. So, but he's enjoying it. And I think everyone in the league is having a good time with this thing. And I am too, even though I'm trying to get above 500 here around the year. But I'm having a better week compared to last week when I really was up against it all week with you. Made a little run, but, you know. How are you doing this week?
Well, I think I was down starting the day. But now I'm up 7-3 because I had a nice day on Toronto Mounties. And, you know, oddly enough, I'm beating him in wins. With Wade Davis got another win. And he's got much better starters than me, but he's just had a tough day or a tough week with his pitchers. But it's still tight. I'm up 3 runs. I'm up 1 home run. I'm down 6 RBI. I'm not going to catch him in steals. Probably won't in RBI, but I could. I'm up about 30 points in batting average. He's got me in strikeouts, 30-17. I'm up 1 win, but I think he's got guys going. I'm up in saves, and I got ERA and WHIP. So right now, I'm up 7-3, mainly because got 3 home runs today. A-Rod, back on the juice, I hope.
Unbelievable. I'm sure he is, but, hey, it's fantasy, so you're loving it.
He's 3 for 4 with 2 homers and a run and 4 RBI, and then Tulo finally got a dinger. But, of course, a solo shot. All my guys get solo shots. Stinking
Nobody
guys.
On base. A-Rod, 4 RBIs today. Wow.
Yeah, but I'm hitting 400 today, so that's going well. I got a win with Wade Davis. I got a couple saves, which I typically do. But then Jim Johnson had a little blow up, 18 ERA, so that kind of hurt me. Look, we saw it. It's still tight. Anything can happen on Sunday, and a lot of these matchups are probably going to change on that last day.
Well, I mean, you look across the board really in our league. Docs and Jocks is up 7-3 on Schuff, which is a shocker, And I know
Oh,
Docs and
watch it.
Jocks.
Don't say that. They're going to come down
yeah,
hard on you.
This is probably the upset of the year, I'm thinking.
This is the worst team in the league, Docs and Jocks. Pulling an upset. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's funny.
No, they're having a great week. They're up, and it's not like they're leading by just a few. They're up 10 runs, 4 homers, 9 RBIs. Stolen bases, they're down 2, and average, they're only up by about 5 points. They're up big in strikeouts. Wins is still close, saves. ERA and WHIP could go either way. So, like you said, this matchup could go really either way. But in probably 3 of those offensive categories, Schuff has to get it together, make a little ground up tomorrow, so he has a shot to get those categories on Sunday.
Yeah, if you're Docs and Jocks, you like 3 of your offensive categories. 10 runs in 2 days is a lot. 4 home runs can be a lot. And
9 RBIs.
9 RBI can be a lot. But you like those.
Yeah.
But everything else is up for grabs. You like where you're
He's
at.
got strikeouts. He's got strikeouts. You have to say he's probably got about at least 4 categories you'd think wrapped up.
It depends on who, we didn't go do a lot of deep dive preparation wise, but it depends on who they got going, who they're pitching Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
And it depends on if they actually throw them, I mean, look, these are the tidbits and the tricks of the trade. I mean, Deron didn't start big game James, not because he was afraid he would lose, but because he's afraid he'd get blown up. And he wanted to win ERA and WHIP. I've got Tillman tomorrow. I've got to look at what Mounties has before I make my decision, but I might be done pitching because I got the saves and I got ERA and WHIP. So I might just say, hey, look, even if he beats me and wins, I'm up 1-0. Even if he comes back and beats me and wins, I don't care. I'll give up that category because I don't want to try for that category and possibly lose 2 others.
Right, exactly. And that was my thinking too. I'm like, I've got the 3 pitching points locked up. Let's focus on the hitting. And unfortunately, that's taken a little bit of a turn. But, there's 2 days left, and I don't think Russell Martin is going to be hitting 2 home runs again, in these next couple days.
Ever.
So
the rest of the year.
Probably not, yeah.
He's going to hit with 2.
We talked about your matchup. Let's go down to Tillman Pride is, before they start playing for Pride.
I'm not picking my nose. I just have an itch on the outside of my nose. So
yeah,
I'm like Jerry Seinfeld. I was on the outside.
That was a pick.
I was on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. Who are we talking about? Tillman Pride?
Tillman Pride and Team Britain they're tied up at 5. And that's a pretty tight battle going on there. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of categories
across the board.
It really is. It really is.
Steals gets kind of tough, but because there's nobody stealing bases in this league anymore. It's crazy.
Well, except me.
Yeah, you and Team Domorowski, you guys have 9 this week, but like
9.
Docs and Jocks has 0. I have 1. Baracha has 1. Baracho would be a female, which maybe that's actually. Team Britain has 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys and Schuff usually has more with Billy Hamilton, but maybe he stole them all last week. I don't know. But anyways, everything's close with Tillman Pride except average. Britain's up by about 20 points, right?
Yep.
Wins. I don't know who Pride's got left, who James has left. His whip looks good. That could go either way though. 5-5 right now.
It could. Yep, it could. Let me see where they're at tomorrow. Let me just do a quick check on something here.
You do a quick little check there? Check them out, see what's going on?
Yeah, Pride's got Chris Sale and Dallas Keuchel tomorrow, and C.J. Wilson. So they got 3 starters going tomorrow.
Wow,
and on Sunday they got nothing. Britain tomorrow has they got 3 as well. DeGrom on the Mets, Alex Wood on Atlanta, and Phil Hughes on the Twins. And then on Sunday, they've got Danny Duffy on your Kansas City Royals and Andrew Kashner. So they got 5 going.
They got 5 the rest of the way?
Yeah, they got 5. I don't see Tillman winning wins. I don't see it. But,
in that case, if I was Tillman, I might just bench those 3 guys because you got ERA and WHIP. I mean, you can only probably go up. Don't you think, or no? Well,
you're still in the strikeout game. Though I know he's got 5 and you've got, but he's got 3. It's it's a tough call.
Yeah,
I'd probably play it out. Yeah.
I mean, if you don't do it, then you're going to be really mad at yourself if it blows up on you. But if you do it and you look at your guys on the bench, they got these strikeouts. Yeah, he's 3 away in strikeouts. Well, that one you could play out 3 against 5. I mean, who knows? It's just, you just hope your guys.
Your guys could get blown up, but again, your opponent could get blown up too. So it can work both ways. Tower and Domorowski. That's tight. And
5-4-1 Domorowski.
Yep.
By the way,
got,
I was broadcasting a Lopes baseball game tonight, and of course we do it on Family Values Radio 1010. And Tom Brown, the owner of Phoenix Tower, works at that station. They own 3 different signals, and I'm talking to my board op, my engineer, and he says to me at a break, in between innings, he says, "Oh, by the way, how's it feel to be losing to Tom in fantasy baseball?" And I said, "Oh, is Tom there? Is Tom telling people I'm losing to him? Because I'm not losing to Tom. I have one more win than him, and because of his ties, we're tied. And by the way, I'm going to be beating him after this week." So Tom's talking a little smack behind my back. Well, not really, because he told the guy to tell me, but.
And he's not even playing you. Just wait till he plays you. My gosh.
That's going to be ugly. But he might.
It's going to be.
He was up pretty big against Domorowski at some points early on. But Domorowski, I've noticed, they're kind of a team that comes from behind. Remember they were down to Mounties last week going into the weekend? They wait for the weekend to play.
They do.
I don't know why that is. But they're up.
Weekend Warriors.
They're up 10 in runs. Home runs is tight. They're down 5. So Towers up 5 in RBI. Domorowski's got 9-5 in steals. And
they got average. I mean,
average
270 to 211. That's yeah. Strikeouts depending on how many starters.
I thought Tom hit well last week, and he's eating 211 this week.
Yeah.
Wins are tied. Saves 1-0. ERA, depending on what they got. So everybody's close. It seemed like last week it was kind of like that too. There were a lot of 6-4s. There were a couple that were 7-3s going into the weekend, but those clinched up quite a bit. So. Docs and Jocks 7-3 and me at 7-3 right now have the 2 biggest leads. But like I said, I think mine's a little more tenuous than Docs and Jocks is because Shuffis hasn't been hitting. My 7-3 lead that's not going to last. 7-3.
Right.
I'm nervous about that one.
Man, I would just love to have a monster the last couple of days and just put Pat where he belongs.
He's going to watch it and go, "You know where I belong?"
Oh, yeah, he is.
Above you, pal.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go right now, Pat. Let's go.
As you said, these are some really good, tough interdivision matchups between you and Pat and between me and Mounties. Are those the only 2 interdivision? Because,
Pride and Britain they're both in my division.
Pride and Britain.
And then Tower and Domorowski.
Slammers.
Yep, and then Tower and Domorowski are both
the only non-division one is Docs and Jocks and Slammers.
Yeah, I think, at this point.
But
there's going to be
Jocks,
one.
That's helping everybody in your division out if they can come. And it gets them back into our division because starting this week, they only had 2 wins,
Yeah. Oh, sorry, babe.
Well, is that your wife or is that your married?
Yeah, she's. Oh. That was Cindy. She's getting ready to go to bed, and I talk a little loud. I get a little excited doing this stuff.
Doesn't she want to come on and talk fantasy baseball?
No, she doesn't. No. Not tonight, anyway.
Oh man. Well, here's my problem as we run down the standings, and we'll do this again on Monday. Here's my problem. I have like a MASH freaking unit on my team now. Because I made no joke about it that I liked Michael Brantley, and Team Britain dropped him. Another one of those that raised eyebrows, I think, around the league that they dropped him. I think he was the number 3rd round pick. But Team Britain has shown they're not messing around with guys who are hurt guys. You go into day-to-day, and they drop that guy.
And there's something to be said for that. I mean, you're trying to win your matchup every week. It's not like you're holding on to the guy for the long haul. And I know Brantley's he's a great player, but especially with our limited transactions and our limited bench spots, it's tough to be patient with guys. It really is. And I was surprised Brantley was even in there today. Did he do anything today, by the way? Or?
Oh, yeah, he went 2 for 5.
Oh, okay. I knew you were going to pick him up. As soon as I saw him,
I had the number 2, and here's what I did. I didn't mention a thing about it to Docs and Jocks. They were the only people above me. People below me, I tell them I don't care, You knew Toronto Mounties called it. I knew you were going to pick him up because I've been very open about it. So if you think about it, I have worked my way to get pretty much the top 5 guys I wanted. I drafted Gomez. I traded for Abreu. I picked up Tulo, and I got Brantley. So I got the 4 of the top guys I wanted. Now, if it works out, that remains to be seen because Abreu pretty much stinks right now, and Gomez just went on the 15-day DL.
You tried to get Stanton too,
Yeah, you should have traded him before he took the mask off.
You were peppering me with texts that one night, yeah. But
Once he took
I wouldn't
the mask
budge.
off.
once he took some mess, now he's hitting like a maniac. So I'm
Yeah,
glad I
but
didn't do it because I'd be sick about it.
back to my thing. I got Joe Nathan on the DL. He should come off probably in about 5 or 6 days. Gomez just went on the 15-day DL. Martinez is day to day. He didn't play. He hasn't played this week because he sat out at Pittsburgh, and now he's on day to day. And Brantley just came off of day to day, so he could easily go back on. So I'm doing okay now, but I look at my guys and I'm like, oh boy. And you're right. I got basically Gomez and Martinez on bench spots right now, and I just don't have room
Right.
to and there's nobody I really want to drop so much. So yeah, it really does hamstring. And Mounty's had a good point. He's called me a couple times, kind of whining and saying, hey, we should have 2 DL spots, Let's have 2 DL spots. And the more I thought about that, well, that's not a bad idea next year to do 2 DL spots. But we threw
Right.
around maybe adding an extra couple bench spots, and they're locked. You can't do that. And we thought about even checking, but I don't know. This makes you really figure out. It makes you really value those 3 add drop pickups, and it makes you really think before you drop somebody.
Sure. It's not just an automatic like, oh, this guy's available, I'm going to pick him up, because you got to be looking ahead for the rest of the week. What if another guy or two gets hurt and you just basically took a spec on a guy? You could be in trouble as the week goes on. But getting back to your team, Evan Gaddis, you're having a good day when he gets 2 hits. I mean,
Gaddis, he got
that's
a home
great.
run this week. The big boy.
Oh, he's got a home run already.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't see that.
Solo shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got as a team. I'm looking
Man,
at
you're hitting
stats.
400 today. Man, alive. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
I'm hitting the ball today. Well,
Yeah.
I got mashers. I'm supposed to do that. I haven't been doing it though. As a team, I have 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 16. I have 18 homers as a team, and I think I have like 22 RBI. I have 27 RBI or something. It's crazy. I have so few RBI, but as we said, Gonzalez had 5 home runs last week. He hasn't hit one this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are
Well, like you
pitching
said,
around
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which they should have last week. That would have helped me.
No, they shouldn't have last week.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are feeling the sting of guys day-to-day DL. It seems like there's more so this year than there were in years past. A lot of guys getting dinged up early.
Dinged up and getting rested. It's just like you and I have talked about it. What's the deal? I mean, we're a week into the season, 10 days into the season, and guys need a day off?
It's a joke.
I mean, come on, guys. Gee.
Well, and who's the manager in Atlanta? He rests Nick Markakis on a day
Freddie
before they have a
Gonzalez
day
and
off.
Yeah.
I'm like, the guy's played. He's always started 8 straight. He needs a break. Really? There's 162 games.
He's going to need a lot of breaks.
Good grief! And they've dressed it too low.
Break every 8 days, I guess. Yeah, yeah. So.
Yeah. And that's hard because was it today we had 2 games early and the rest of the games late, and so who's starting those 2 games, but like I didn't know you don't know early enough to kind of move guys in and out of your lineup about the late games, and so it kind of hurts you.
Well, I took a shot. I had a couple guys that have been day to day. Cole Calhoun on the Angels, and Zobrist had a little issue on Wednesday. He missed the game. But I thought, you know what? These are my top guys. I got to roll with them. So I threw them in there, and fortunately, they played for me.
They both played? Did they do anything?
They both played. Zobrist took the collar, and Calhoun is 2 for 3 with 3 runs. So good game for him. Toyed with the idea of benching Starling Marte, who's been a total 0. Glad I didn't. He went 2 for 4 with a homer and a stolen base. So that was good to keep him in there.
That's the one thing about baseball as opposed to football. You almost just have to ride these guys because it's a long season. And now we're playing in 7-day chunks, so it's a guy can get like Gaddis, nothing for 7 days, or a guy can get hot for 7 days.
Right. Well, Marte, I looked at his line. He's basically 0 for 11 over his last 3 games. I'm like going, this guy's going to turn it around. He hit about 290 last year.
Yeah.
He's not going to totally go in the tank. So leave him in there, and that move worked out. I picked up a guy for yesterday for the light scheduled day that didn't work out too well, but that's going to happen. Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah.
Hey, so 2 things before we go, Deron. I want to ask you one thing. I got to correct myself. We were talking last episode, and I was saying that a lot of the first rounders haven't played well, and we mentioned Paul Goldschmidt, Trout, who fastest guy to 100 home runs and 100 steals, the youngest guy ever to reach that. He did it today. But I forgot to mention a guy on Pat's team, and he was probably watching it going, what are you talking about? But Miguel Cabrera has been on fire. He went 2 for 4 again today. He's in like 500 or something on the year. It's insane what he's doing.
Yeah, just a monster. Yeah.
So I wanted to mention that. He's in 432 with 2 homers and 9 RBI. I mean, the guy's crushing it again. He's healthy, it seems like, which is good.
Yep, and he's in a good lineup, really good hitting team. So Pat's got he's got a few of those guys. He's got 3 Tigers, Cespedes, Cabrera, and Castellanos. He's got a couple Blue Jays. I mean, these teams hit, so he's got a tough team. Bryce Harper's playing pretty well. He homered today, so.
Well, and you got to be happy. Stanton looks like he's starting to get it together. He's starting to piece it together a little bit, I think, and he's going to go.
Yeah.
But then the second thing I wanted to talk about for folks is if they look at your lineup, you don't have a catcher in your lineup.
No, I don't.
You want to walk us through that, or are you going to keep that secret?
No, I can share it with everybody because it's really not working out too well for me. But my catcher, I had the Reds catcher who has been day to day, and I don't even know if he played today. But he's had a bad hip. He's been out since last Saturday, and I had 1 transaction left. I'm coming into Thursday. I only got 3 hitters in my lineup, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to pick up another position player. I'm going to sacrifice the catcher position because I don't know if, number one, if this guy's going to be back for the rest of the week. Mm-hmm. Number 2, if I pick up a guy for Thursday, a catcher, is he even going to play? And he'll probably just play maybe 2 games at the most over the weekend. So basically, I figured I'm going to lose 1 game because I'm going to fill in that spot on Thursday, and I'll miss out the 2 games over the weekend with the catcher.
Right.
And so I thought it's worth the trade-off. It's obviously I'm not required to have a player in each position. I will pick up a catcher before next week because I'm not going to leave that spot empty all week. But I just thought for my purposes, I'm in the pitching is pretty much all set as far as the categories go. I've got saves, ERA, and WHIP. He's got wins and strikeouts, and that's probably not going to change. So let's focus on the hitting. Try to pick up an extra hitter. The guy went 0 for 4 yesterday, didn't work out. Kevin Pillar on Toronto, who had been hitting the ball well. I picked up Adam Lind. He'd been hitting the ball well for the Brewers, and I think he got 1 hit, but his production has just dropped off. So, you take a shot. I thought it was the right play, and sometimes you have to get a little creative, with when you're limited with your transactions and with your roster spots, and especially if you got some injuries. So, and plus, picking up Pillar gave me another outfielder in case Calhoun was out for the rest of the week. I could plug Pillar in there. So a lot of things to think about.
You're like the Buck Showalter of fantasy. You just tinker. You're constantly tinkering.
I am. But these limited transactions, they help me from over tinkering. Yeah, they do.
Let me just, as we close, say the great thing about fantasy baseball, and I haven't played it so long that I'm remembering, is I know a lot more about baseball than I did before, and I'm interested in listening to the A's at the Astros or whatever on the radio, on the MLB. Yep. If you haven't bought that MLB thing on your phone where you can listen to the games, it's great. They give you a free game of the day. You can watch, and then you can listen to all the broadcasts. I like listening to baseball on the radio, and I drive a lot, so that's fun. The bad thing,
it's free. It's free though.
No, you buy it's like $20, but you can listen to every radio broadcast from the home or the visiting team. I'm not a big fan of some of the Diamondbacks broadcasters at times, so I can listen to the opposing team's feed and still follow the Diamondbacks. They're great guys, though. God bless them. The thing that's bad, though, about fantasy is I'm playing a guy in Mackenzie Howard and Toronto Montes. On his team, he's got Lorenzo Cain and Mike Moustakas and Greg Holland and Billy Butler and X-Royal and Nori Aoki and X-Royal. And I'm having to root actively against these guys, who my favorite team is the Royals. I actually found myself during the week when they were playing the Twins. The Royals are playing the Twins, and the Twins have the bases loaded, and Dozier comes up, and I'm actively rooting that my fantasy guy hit a grand slam against the team I've rooted for my entire life, and I hated myself for it. I hated myself. But then Dozier gets out, and the next guy gets a base hit, and I'm like, look, if you're going to beat my team, at least let one of my guys do it. But that's the bad thing about fantasy. You find yourself – McKenzie went to the game, Toronto, and Norris was pitching. He's on my team, so he's actively thinking, okay, have just a good enough game so we can win it, but don't get a win for – it's just – that's the bad thing about fantasy.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I kind of like it. None of these players are loyal to us here in our home cities. So why should we be loyal to them? So I'm all about my fantasy team. I don't have any Diamondbacks on my team. I got one White Sox player, but I'm going to root for my team. I don't care.
You're
You know,
you're
once,
you're a Moon Valley Racers fan, not a Diamondbacks or a.
exactly, exactly.
All right, Darren.
Right.
Anything else? This was our first split screen Skype cast.
I hope
Hopefully,
it
it
turns
comes off.
out. I hope it turns out. We had a little technical stuff early on, but I think we battled through it, and there haven't been any issues since then. So, but this was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Just went out and bought my camera today, and kind of fun.
Well, if you're watching it, two things. That means it did work. And number two, that means we're going to be able to start getting you guys on and interviewing you doing the split screen thing. So make sure you have a computer with the camera and download Skype and get all set up, and we'll start contacting you guys. And then we got some leads to get some folks that, work in the fantasy world, whether they write or they work for ESPN. We'll start having some of those guys on too and kind of interviewing them this way to kind of add to it.
That's right.
Yeah, thanks for all the feedback. We love it when we hear you guys say you watch it and you enjoy it as much as you can. Feedback and do feel free to share it. We're always interested to find out if people outside of the league that aren't related to us